To test the dependency injection, in Spring Boot applications, there is a test class under source test Java. Open it, double click to maximize. This test class is marked with the Spring runner, which knows how to run a Spring test. It will wire all the Spring beans together. And this is also marked with @Spring Boot test, meaning this class knows how to locate the main class of this application, and it knows how to wire all the beans together and run the tests inside it. So simply use this test class to test your dependency injection. To do that, we'll define the customer object here. Customer. Mark it with @AutoWired. So it's completely dependency injection based application now. We are not creating objects at all. We are asking the Spring framework to create the objects and inject them, whether it's our regular code, source code, or it is the test code. We are injecting the objects. And in this method, rename this method to test payment. Inside this, we'll use customer dot pay. Invoke that method, and we shouldn't see any null pointer exceptions, but we should see a message on the console. All the way it should go to the credit card impl, and it should display this message when we run this test. And to run this test, right click, do a run as JUnit test. That will, as you can see, launch the Spring Boot. It will wire up all the Spring beans. And at the end of it, here you see payment made. So what exactly happens here? The Spring container launches. It will scan through our application. So when the Spring container runs, this application class is run automatically. The class we have here. This application class will be run, and the Spring container will scan through all the packages within which this application class is present and its sub-packages. In this case, we have everything under the same package called com.parath.patterns.ioc. So Spring will scan through all these classes. It will check which of these classes are marked with @component annotation. It will create the instances of those classes, and wherever we have used auto-wide annotation, it will inject those there. So first it will create the credit card. It will inject the credit card into the customer impl. Then in the test class, we are depending on the customer. The test class depends on the customer, so it will inject the customer into the test class.